All right, peace and blessings, everybody. It's Wednesday, August the 29th, the year 2018, and we've had a very rare event, and I just wanted to share it with you guys. It appears that not only did we get a cop actually get convicted of murder for killing a young boy, but he got 15 years, and 15 years, can you imagine? 15 years. 15 years. You say, oh, the poor cop, he got 15 years, he was just trying to do his job. Do you guys know that he's a Balch Springs police officer? Did you guys know that? Balch Springs. I got to share something with you. He killed this young boy here, Jordan Edwards, I guess. He killed Jordan Edwards in cold blood, and he gets 15 years. You know, when I was growing up, my car broke down. My car broke down in Balch Springs. I grew up in Balch Springs. It's my running ground. It's my, I grew up. That's where I hung out as a young kid. Well, my car broke down, and I wanted to not let the cops tow it. I said, "Hey, don't tow my car. I can get it out of here. It just broke down. Let me get it out of here." And they jumped all over me. They threw me down on a hot pavement. It's, in Texas, like 110 degrees, and they fried my face in the ground. And I'll never forget that day. This is what they did to me that day. And he was a bald-headed cop in Balch Springs. Looks very similar to this guy. I mean, he would have been his brother. And they got a great deal of pleasure in putting my face on that 110-degree pavement, and I had to pick out rocks from my face as they threw me in jail. I sat in jail, and I remember eating some, Taco Bell burritos or whatever they brought me, and of course the toilet's right in the middle of the. You don't have no privacy at all. It's a terrible thing to get thrown in jail. But I don't have any respect for Balch Springs. That's very close to the place where they tasered Graham Dyer. They tasered Graham Dyer in the testicles until he died, and the parents did not even get the video until several years later. And when they tasered him in the testicles, he was handcuffed in the back of a police car, so there was no reason to do that. Oh, by the way, he died. Oh, by the way, nobody ever gets held accountable. So we got some crazy policemen in my local area. I've experienced it firsthand. They murdered this boy, and the cops who helped try to cover it up, they don't get charged with anything. But, the cop actually got 15 years, which is shocking because rarely do the cops ever get held accountable. And, of course, he did kill a black guy, so I think it's more likely they get held accountable because the black people stick up for their own much better than we do as white people. When we found out Graham Dyer got tasered in the testicles until he died, there should have been people protesting all over Balch Springs and all over my community, but white people don't stand up for each other like black people do. But you say, well, he got 15 years, that's great. At least there's some justice. I want to share with you guys what justice, what I think about his 15-year sentence. David Hinkson got a 43-year sentence. There's no dead body with David Hinkson. It's conspiracy to murder, and they lied about it. There's not a dead body with David Hinkson. There's no injured party. There's no victim. In the cop's case, Roy Oliver, you got a dead body. You got a dead boy's body named Jordan Edwards. And he only gets 15 years. But David Hinkson, because he's a patriot and because he's a Christian, gets 43 years. Russell Landers has 44-year sentence. Schaefer Cox has a 26-year sentence. Jeffrey Winehouse has a 30-year sentence. Ed and Elaine Brown have a 63-year sentence between both of them. Daniel Riley has a 28-year sentence. Jason Gerhardt has an 18-year sentence. And I could go on and on and on. Eddie Ray Kahn, I believe he has a 22-year sentence. All of the people that I mentioned, every single one of them, got much longer sentences than Roy Oliver, and there's no victim in any of their crimes. The men and women that I advocate for, almost always there's no victim, and in the one exception of Free Laser, he shot somebody that broke into his house and was trying to kill him with a meat cleaver. So that was a self-defense shooting. But all the people that I just named, they got much longer sentences than Roy Oliver, and yet You know, they're not giving any breaks whatsoever. So don't give me any of this Roy Oliver got his justice with 15 years. No, he's a cop, and he got a very, very light sentence. It's amazing that he even got convicted at all, right? Because most of the time, the great majority of the time, the cops murder us with immunity. And I pray for the day when God Almighty comes back and sets these blue terrorists and gives them what's coming, because they are terrorists. They're killers and murderers and liars. They've hoard out their soul for $1 to implement tyranny on the American people. They are henchmen for the New World Order. That's what they are, including the FBI, including the IRS, including the Department of Justice, and including the Bureau of Prisons. They make money off of human trafficking. And even though Roy Oliver got 15 years tonight, that ain't nothing. Just look at the sentences of the men and women that I just read off to you, and you ask me if that's justice.